Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 for Dennis J. Courtney, M.D.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health for every day. Our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health, heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, well, it is a Friday version of the show, a get 'em up out of town version, as we usually like to refer to it. We're going to let you get us up and out of town. We're going to allow this to become an open phone show, allowing you to call up, set the agenda. Anything on your mind is okle-dokle with me. Had some past guests you may want to talk about, especially our guest of just this past Wednesday, Dr. Thomas Levy. I thought I do look at him as an icon of alternative medical doctors who are in alternative medicine, and so pleased to have him with us. You may want to discuss some of the information he brought to us. We've had other guests in the past few weeks that you may want to do that for also. It doesn't really matter whether it's about a previous guest or whether it's about no guest at all. Anything on your mind is what's okay, and you can set the agenda around here. Now, here's the number to do so, 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. We will open them up right after that first break today. Now, looking at some of the calendar things coming up here, we've got, just want to mention, Dr. Lee, if you want to go to the archives, if you missed a show for Wednesday, he was sort of a surprise to me even, because when I left you on Monday, I really didn't have an agreement with Dr. Lee. In fact, I had no contact with him. We made our discussion, our contact on Tuesday, so maybe I caught you by surprise. We knew that having completed a discussion with you up at the Butler group, the Freedom and Cancer Therapy group, the previous week, that we were going to make contact by email. Boy, it happened so quick, and so that's why I couldn't give you any advance warning. I hope you enjoyed our show with Dr. Thomas Levy. So nice to hear, by the way, because it was a little exotic, his history of living in the country of Colombia and then coming back to the United States every so often. Now he says, a little too much violence down there. He's going back home, his hometown, somewhere in Mississippi. Anyway, nice to have him back on Stateside. Maybe because of it, we can have him as a guest more frequently on our show. At least I'll try to do so. On Monday, interesting guest. Now, I've never met the gentleman before, but he's got one heck of a history. How about starting out 34 years ago? This gentleman, by the way, his name is Rick Hill, left the Mayo Clinic with terminal cancer after doctors told him he was going to die, and there was nothing they could do. Well, now, that was 34 years ago. They say Rick wasn't ready to die. What his story is all about and how he has evolved to what he does now. And he's going to be talking about, could the air inside your house be killing you? Well, maybe it was the air inside of his house that was killing him 34 years ago. But we'll hear that story on Monday with Rick Hill. You don't want to miss it. As we move on to the future now, I'll have more guests inked for the month of April. We do already have, on the month of May, Dr. Eric Shapiro coming back. Of course, he's the author of that book, A New Wrinkle. He's been on the show a couple times in this past month. It's this subject of gerontology, aging gracefully, if that's possible, evidently, and listening to him, it certainly is. But not just your aging, the aging of your parents. It says that you are, the majority of listeners to this show are in the sandwich generation. What he means by that is you're sandwiched in between your parents and your own children. And that's an interesting spot to be in. Anyway, we'll have him coming back with us in the month of May. He's going to be all the way, he scheduled that all the way up May 5th. So we'll fill up some more dates here in April as time marches on. Should also mention to you, as I think I keep on doing, I just want to put that plug in for a product that we are really endorsing around here. I got to get either Deborah Ray or Deanna Naylor back. It's been a number of months now since we had, I think December was the last time we had either one of them on, talking about Fruit of the Spirit, this interesting morning, well, it could be any time of the day, but if you take it in the morning, great tasting, accumulation of 14, as they say, biblical fruit purees, because some of those fruits are definitely not obtainable around here. Alkaline minerals from the Dead Sea, herbs like frankincense and myrrh, as well as resveratrol. Anyway, all mixed up in a great tasting substance. We got the stuff here. If you're coming into the office anyway, ask Kim, could you have a taste of it? She'll certainly let you try some. I think that will be very convincing. If you have planned on coming to the office anyway, go to either the telephone or if you're techie inclined, you can do so online. The phone number, 800-442-3793, 800-442-3793, or the website Fruit Spirit, not Fruit of the Spirit, fruitspirit.net. That's .net, fruitspirit.net. Other interesting thing, because this is the thing about being chipped by a chipper onto a chippy. I think that would be the nomenclature that you have to sort of know. I've been doing it now of bringing and launching in the Pittsburgh area. At least we have been the first. There should be others who follow, and you'll be finding these chips, these transparent holographic chips, showing up in your local chiropractor's office and where else you may find energy issues discussable, because that's in fact how these chips work. They're loaded with information, they're loaded with energy, and they balance out meridians in the ancient Chinese acupunctural energy meridian way. And right now, 5 things can be treated. It used to be 4, now there's 5. 1, pain problems. I've put more chips on a lot of people. They have responded pretty quickly, and so that one is for sure something I can vouch for. Energy issues and sleep issues, those are the initial 3. And now EMF, electromagnetic force assistance, and finally the athlete gets some benefit now. They're a new, brand new set of chips just launched 3 weeks ago, I believe, in Houston. So now the rest of the country is starting to get a look at these chips. You got to look at it first. If you're interested in them, go to the website www.drcourtney.ciara.com. That's www.drcourtney.ciara.com, and you will read a little bit about them, and then you'll be able to order it immediately as you keep clicking forward to the. There's no 800 number, so you can either have us do it for you, or you can do it yourself by down up www.drcourtney, spelled with a D-R, C-O-U-R-T-N-E-Y, .ciara, C-I-E-A-U-R-A.com. And we'll let it go at that. Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a short break? When we come back, I got a couple things on my plate I can kick off our conversation about. You may decide to come in early, come in late. Just come on in. 412-825-6262 is the number to get on in here. 412-825-6262. We will be back in a moment.
Courtney, MD. You become confused about how best to manage your health. It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MC, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Want to help your family eat healthier? Instead of learning to disguise tofu in wondrous ways, how about some real nutritional power? If your family has the typical American palate for fries, pizza, and burgers, giving your family the blessing of good nutrition is a struggle. Fruit of the Spirit is the answer for your family's nutritional needs. Fruit of the Spirit is an all-natural, whole fruit puree made from fresh fruits native to the Holy Land with alkalizing minerals. Fruit of the Spirit was 5 years in the formulation, the work of a team of top nutritional experts with independent science to confirm its antioxidant power. 1 ounce a day provides the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits and minerals. Fruit of the Spirit is convenient, affordable, and delicious. Even your picky family will sing the praises of Fruit of the Spirit. Give your loved ones the blessing of good nutrition. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing to your good health. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney here with you on this Friday version of the show. We say get 'em up, out of town version of the show. We're always looking forward for your ability to come on in and participate with us. Today we're going to allow you to do just that. You can set the agenda right here by giving us a call at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll be listening for that knock on the door. We'll let you come right on in the store. Now, meantime, let's get it started off here with, I think the last time we had a chance to be together, I went into a pretty lengthy discussion about clot busting. And I said, by the way, that's one of the, and I think the prompt for that was I had found, once again, and every so often it surfaces, Dr. Jimmy Roberts' book entitled Reverse Heart Disease. Now, many of you, I know that I see here in the office, actually have a copy of the book. I think it's wonderful that you do. For those of you that don't, you have to understand that this clot-busting component is from a cardiovascular viewpoint. Those of you who are looking for the cardiovascular edge, this is one of the 4 edges, I believe, that conventional doctors just won't be able to help you with. I've already said, I mean, the 4 as I see them are to correct your inflammation factors. Those are those 8 lab tests, 8 different parameters that you can check for. Any one of which of those 8, if they're elevated, will inflame the lining of arteries. And the unfortunate thing about those inflammatory factors is that they are never checked for. One of them is, but 7 of them aren't. And every one of those 8 are absolutely necessary to be brought under control. So if you don't check it, and the reason that they do not, they being the conventional medical community, is that right now, as it exists, there is no medication, because that's how everything has to be treated. There is no medication to correct 7 of the 8. There's only a medication to correct 1 of the 8. That's the one they order. That's the one they check. That's the one if I stopped you in the middle of the street and said, hey, what's your cholesterol level? This is the one, okay, that the conventional medical community has completely gone crazy over. And there's merit to looking at cholesterol levels, but you can't ignore the other stuff, and especially when you can correct any of them. So inflammation factors. Number 2 is the actual plaque, accumulation of plaque, in which decreasing, removing, diminishing the amount of plaque in blood vessels is another cardiovascular advantage. This is believed not be able to even happen, not possible, according to conventional medical thinking. And, of course, this is where the use of something called chelation therapy, which we've been espousing for a long time now, plays a very important role. The third little edge, not a little edge, it's a big edge, and we've talked about it many times here before, is the use of developing increased flow to all your organs, heart just being one of them, brain, every organ needs to and can increase the number of blood vessels. That's a really amazing thing to be able to do. And ECP, external counter pulsation, is how that's accomplished. So this fourth edge that I say that is something that's possible here will not be possible in the conventional medical community, and that I brought to your attention about a week and a half ago, talking about clot busters. And I said there were two of them, mild clot busters. They're not prescription items. These items are found in health food stores, and they come in the form of two of the kinases. These are enzymes. And if you can recall, the two most familiar and most studied are nattokinase and lumbrokinase. These two will gradually dissolve clots. And because each of us, especially as we age, are forming clots, and should there be a sudden release of any of these clots that would rapidly occlude a blood vessel, that is the mechanism of, well, if the occlusion occurs in the heart, that's a heart attack. If it occurs in the brain, that's a stroke. If it occurs in any other organ, it's called an infarct, period. But these clots can get quite large and be quite devastating. They need to be broken up. In the conventional realm, there is no mild clot buster. I think you've heard me tell you this. There are only major league clot busters. One in particular, a couple come to mind, TPA, streptokinase. These are violent and excellent, by the way, when needed, clot busters, but they are administered in a hospital setting only. They're administered during an event itself. So you have to actually be having a heart attack now, and then if you show up at an outlier hospital that doesn't have a cath lab, that's what's, even if you're lucky enough to be caught within the first 2 hours of any of those events, you will be able to receive, and you will receive, these clot busters. But with the thousands of dollars of doses involved, which is not the big thing, but the biggest thing is the fact that there's immunological reactions that occur because of it. This turns out to be something that you can only take once because of the immunological reaction that occurs should you receive a second dose of it. It may not bode well for you. It could be a violent reaction to the second exposure. So we say, hey, use these mild clot busters to help break up clots. Over the long haul, Dr. Jimmy Roberts talked about this extensively in his book, and then I dusted off a couple of weeks ago, still sitting on my desk, talking about the two, nattokinase and lumbrokinase. Nattokinase, by the way, comes from fermented cheeses, and lumbrokinase comes from earthworms. I know that sounds a little sordid, but nonetheless it does. And now here, the one component I've neglected, and why I'm sort of coming back and talking about these today just momentarily and letting you take some time to call up, is the dosages. Never talked about the dosages, and I'm going to actually quote from Dr. Roberts' book. He's put down in print what the dosages should be, so let me pass them on to you. Write these down if you would. If you decide to take nattokinase, which you can get in health food stores, freely available, which you'll be taking daily, for preventative reasons, you should take 2,000 fibrin units per day. So you need to be looking on the back of each of these to find out how many fibrin units is found in each tablet or capsule or however you're taking it. And based on that, prevention would require about 2,000 fibrin units per day. For therapy, meaning if you have a history or an ongoing process of clot generation, that should be pumped up to 4,000 units per day. And if you've had an event, like a stroke or a heart attack, that needs to be popped up to about 6,000 fibrin units per day. Now, those are the first times I've ever mentioned the doses on the air. I mention them because Dr. Roberts took the time to mention them, and in our last discussion, I had failed to mention them, so there you go. Now you know some dosages to hook up with these. Lumbrokinase, which I believe, and I've got just so much information to back this up. This is why in my office we really don't carry the nattokinase. We tend to carry, not tend, we carry the Beluca lumbrokinase because I believe it to be a much better clot buster. Active therapy involves 2 20-milligram capsules taken 30 minutes before meals, 3 times a day for 4 weeks. That's active therapy. That's if you have a known clot generation process underway. That would be comparable to taking the 4,000 units per day of the nattokinase. Then 1 capsule 3 times a day. If taken with food, lumbrokinase will serve as a digestive enzyme, and none will be absorbed into the blood. So you do have to do this on an empty stomach. Key point that needs to be made with the Beluca, taken on an empty stomach, and those with high fibrinogen and lipoproteinol levels, which are factors that we'll always order, and we do order our patients, should take 1 capsule at bedtime. There are your doses for the clot busters that I failed to mention the last time we talked about it. I think the Beluca is a much better clot buster. You can make a decision on what you believe would be best for you. And the doses are, as I've just stated them, now available to you, and take it from there. I'm glad you could write down and pick up from these additional items on the clot busters. We had not spent much time, but the last time I brought this to you, we hadn't spent any real time on clot busters. This sort of rounded out that conversation today was a very good idea. Okay, let's take another short break. We'll end on the clot buster issue for now. We're going to allow you to set the tone and the mood around here. Anything on your mind? Doesn't have to do with clot busting. Can do with anything at all that you want to talk about. 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. We will be back in a moment.
Honey, just got the word. The company's new health plan has a $5,000 deductible. We have to make sure nobody gets sick this year. Remember what those doctor's visits cost from last year's cold and flu? Well, sorry, I've got to go. Love you.
We can do this. We can cut the fast food lunches, soda, that's a lot of sugar. We could all take that evening walk. And hey, I heard a program about fruit of the spirit. What did they say? 1 ounce, the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits with herbs and minerals. We could add some to our breakfast protein shake. Fruit of the spirit, unique whole fruit puree. Fruit of the spirit contains fresh fruits native to the Holy Land and alkalizing minerals from the Dead Sea with no added sugar. Fruit of the spirit is a unique product from 5 years of work, science-based nutritional experts. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit the Spirit, a blessing to your good health. Fruit the Spirit, convenient, affordable, and delicious. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Don Shea, Courtney, MD. You become confused about how best to manage your health. It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blend of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you on this Friday version of the show. We've opened them up. We're allowing you to come on in and set the agenda by either asking a question or making a comment. Anything on your mind is okay with me. The number to do that, 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. And I'll be waiting for a knock on the door to let you on in the store. And by the way, just heard a knock. Why don't you come on in? Hello and welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
With regard to Clot Busters and Dr. Levy's vitamin C,
Okay.
there is a note on the website with the vitamin C that says it is not recommended to take any form of vitamin C with prescription Coumadin or warfarin. I wonder, does that same precaution apply to Blue-K?
Okay. I'm certainly aware of the instruction for those that are taking Coumadin to back off on a whole host of things. Vitamin C is just one of them. Of course, what will occur with the use of any of these is you will prolong the clotting mechanism. You'll change what's called the INR and the prothrombin time. And so I would not necessarily, and I know you didn't ask the question this way, but I'm going to answer it this way. Rather than neglecting to take the vitamin C, all you need to do is get on your standard regime of vitamin C and let your prothrombin time and your INR settle to the level that's going to settle to, and your level of Coumadin, if that's what your doctors think you should be on, would be increased just slightly in order to meet the need. You would be getting the antioxidant you needed for the day, and you would have no additional risk with developing clots, which is why you take on the Coumadin. So hope you allowed me to answer the question in that way.
Let's see if I understand then. I'm not taking either Coumadin or warfarin.
Okay. Well, that is the same drug.
But I'm taking the Blue-K at 1 capsule a day.
Oh, great. Okay.
Would you think there's any conflict there?
Well, actually,
if I were to take his vitamin C.
Well, to be quite honest with you, Coumadin will prevent you from forming any new clot. And it's a pretty effective way of doing that. It actually prevents the clotting cascade from ever getting started. But Coumadin doesn't do a thing to help break up previously formed clots.
Okay.
And so by taking the Blue-K, you're doing the right thing. By the way, you aren't affecting in any way the INR and the prothrombin time of Coumadin itself. But nonetheless, you are still able to break up previously formed clots in a mild, gentle way that will be of benefit to you. And so consequently, I think that the two together have a double effectiveness. Now, I'm not a big proponent. I have patients all the time that come to me, and the reason they're here is they go, hey, I'm on Coumadin. Is there any way I can get off it? Is there any way I can do that? And as Jimmy Roberts professes in his book, and we talk about in the office many times with patients, is, oh, yeah, there's a way you can. But then I have other patients that come in here. You may very well be one of them, which would say, you know what, I'm on. You said you weren't on Coumadin, right? Did you say you're on or you're not on?
I'm not on Coumadin.
Okay. But there have been those who are on Coumadin and don't want to get off. They feel very comfortable. Their doctors have placed them on it. They want to stay on it, and that's okay with me too. That's up to them. But there is a way to, if you're on Coumadin, to get off it by taking the Clot Busters and using things like vitamin E and fish oils and the like. So I hope I answered. Did I answer your question directly, or did I not?
Yes, I did. I might extend into one other area.
Go ahead.
And that would be the omega-3s.
All right.
Would there be any benefit from the encapsulation process that they use for vitamin C and the other things to apply that to the omega-3s?
Well, I think if I heard the question correct, and this is sort of a an add-on to what Dr. Levy was talking about the other day,
Yes.
this liposomal thing, okay?
Yes.
This liposomal preparations, we were talking off air after the show ended, and we spent a few minutes, because we'll bring him back again. He's such a great guest, and what a scientific wizard he is. But you're going to be seeing liposomal everything, okay? Right now, it's not really being touched by many. Just a couple of companies are delving into it, and those that are, and the companies that he represents, that make a form of vitamin C and glutathione, that he puts the full force of his reputation behind, are one of the early pioneers in this. But what you're going to be finding out, he thinks, and I think he's right, is that this liposomal delivery system is so good that everybody's going to be jumping on the bandwagon. And his fear is that just as in everything else, there are going to be companies that do this and don't do it well, have an inferior product, and that they will ruin the good name of liposomal delivery. Now, we're way ahead of the curve on this. No one's doing liposomal deliveries yet. But because the benefit is so large, he feels that everybody will be getting into it, and you'll be seeing, I believe, the company that he represents, will probably be coming out with more and more items which are water-soluble now, and because of it, have a problem. They're not absorbed well. They don't get into the cell well. They're going to attach the liposomal delivery system to them and make them quite effective as supplements. And as they emerge from the company, we'll bring them on board here, and you'll hear about them here first. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Courtney.
Very good questions. Absolutely. Okay. There you have it. Interesting. That gentleman absolutely listened to our discussion with Dr. Levy. I hope you appreciate what Dr. Levy brought to us as a message the other day. You know, we had him on, I think it's 2 years ago now, in which case he was representing just one product. It was his Lipo-C, and utilizing this liposomal delivery system for vitamin C. And you heard the discussion for why this water-soluble compound is not able to be absorbed well and doesn't get into the cell well. And by using the liposomal system, it's able to hurdle both obstacles very, very well. What was unique is the entrance of glutathione into the same realm. Because I think it's just, we've never told patients ever to take glutathione orally. Because unlike the vitamin C, the glutathione is made up of amino acids, and stomach acids literally denature and completely ruin these proteins right in the stomach. So as they pass on in the intestines, it's truly a waste of time and effort and good money to think that you're going to have any glutathione benefit at all from these proteins, which are now really, after stomach acids, not even proteins at all. But what we heard Dr. Levy discuss was, because of the liposomal delivery system, this thing gets right on through the stomach unscathed. And then it gets into the bloodstream unscathed and is able to deliver, in a liposomal way, glutathione to the cell. Now, that was a new one. We always got vitamin C to the cell. Small percentage, nonetheless, some got there. No glutathione ever got there because the stomach acids were such a potent force that it denatured the proteins. They didn't even leave the stomach as proteins and amino acids anymore, and so consequently, the glutathione that you took never emerged from the stomach into the intestines, able to resemble anything in the way near what glutathione should look like. But now, with the liposomal process, according to Dr. Levy, that has been conquered. That is an amazing scientific feat. Look out, as we talked off air. Look out for liposomal everything. I think he's right. Hey, another knock at the door. Come on in the store. Hello, and welcome aboard.
Hi, I've heard you mention about the nattokinase
Yes.
Clot buster, and And you said the maintenance dose was 2,000 fibrin per day.
That's right.
And what are the other 3 doses? One was for heart.
Well, one was for an active therapy where you're having a diagnosis of an ongoing process of developing clots. So you need a higher dose.
Uh-huh.
So that was was it 4,000 a day?
4,000.
Okay.
And for a heart attack or stroke?
Yeah, a heart attack or stroke where there's an actual event, it goes up to 6,000. You're taking the nano?
Oh, 6,000. I thought
Yeah.
you said 50,000.
No. 6,000.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
I have a question. What is this other one, Volute? I have never heard
Never
of it.
heard of it, huh?
No, I've heard of a lot of good things, but I haven't heard of that.
Well, look, I hadn't either. I mean, that has been around for a while.
And how do you spell it?
Well, the
Beluga?
lumbrokinase.
Oh, Lumbro. I thought it was Beluga.
Oh, wait a minute. There's two words here. Beluga is spelled B-O-L-U-C-K-E.
Oh,
Beluga.
K-E. B-O-L-U.
B-O-L-U-L-U-O. Oh, wait. Let me get this right. B-O-L-U-O-K-E. Beluga.
B-O-L-U-O-K-E. And what's the second one?
Lumbro. L-U-M-B-R-O. Kinase.
Okay.
And so,
And what was the maintenance?
well, they say that the 20 milligrams, the dosage of this is slightly different than it is for the natokinase. They were using fibrin units, and here they're just talking about 2 20-milligram capsules taken, and this is during the active therapy. This would be comparable to someone who might take 4,000 units a day, as you had asked the question previously, because they have an ongoing process of developing clots in play. Now, if you're similarly in that same clinical category, the amount of lumbrokinase that you take would be 2 20-milligram capsules taken 30 minutes before meals, 3 times a day, and the emphasis on this is the before meals.
Oh, this is, okay, then it's 2 of them 3 times per day.
Yeah, there's an active therapy before meals. Stomach has to be empty because this stuff will merge with foods and it'll ruin the effectiveness of the clot-busting activity.
And the same thing for the natokinase.
No, there's no food. You don't have to worry about that one. This is the way things work.
Okay.
No precaution like that with the natokinase.
Oh.
I will say.
I have some here.
Oh, good. Interestingly enough, natokinase, and you were so representative of the majority of people that I run into. Everybody's heard of natto. Very few have heard of the lumbro, and I don't know why, because when you look at the scientific literature, by far, and I'm telling you, I got a stack of things in front of me right now that scientifically proves it. The effectiveness, when one's compared to the other, of the lumbrokinase is 10 to 20 times more effective than the natto ever could be.
Oh, okay.
Why is it that natto gained such popularity? Well, it may have been the first, so to the extent that it's been around longer, all right, I'll buy it. But in terms of the efficacy, my goodness, it's not even close. The lumbrokinase is a much better clot buster than natto.
Maybe it's more expensive.
That's true. It only comes out of one company. The company's they're called Canadian Research. You can only get it in Canada. That's where we get our supplies from. Or unless someone is going to act as a distributor for this Canadian company. There's only one company that makes Beluga. There are many that make the natto.
And if you were having a heart attack or stroke, what would the use?
Well, that's that old thing. I think you're trying to compare, like the doctor saying, go take an aspirin if you're having a heart attack. Isn't that what the comparison is? And it always.
I don't know. I don't take it.
Okay, but I've heard
take it.
But I've heard, and as a medical doctor, I've been told that this is a great recommendation. I don't see this as a wonderful recommendation. Okay.
I think vitamin E and vitamin C would have, and fish oil on an ongoing basis.
If you're having a heart attack, let's just get you to the emergency room.
Free there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll need interventions for sure. But thinking that you're going to pop an aspirin or a lumbro or a vitamin C, I wouldn't be looking for that to bail you out of an event. Next question, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of what's called serapeptase, I think.
Yes, I have.
Which is
It's a proteolytic enzyme.
What's a silkworm? Yeah, it's a proteolytic enzyme.
Right.
And apparently it helps really break up old scars. And
That's right.
like
That's
that.
for tissue repair.
Okay.
And another one of the it's enzymes. There's no doubt about that. That ASE on the end of it is the giveaway.
Oh, I know
But
that.
taken for an entirely different reason. It would not be a clot buster at all. It's a tissue repairing component.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Well, I've heard that that's good for helping to also with atherosclerosis, helping to clear up the.
You know what? You may have a good point there. So much of my effort is to working with those 4 advantages that I'm not going to repeat them now, but nonetheless, haven't really put the serapeptidases in that role. Let me take a look at that and report back. Just off the top of my head, it makes good sense.
Okay.
Okay?
I appreciate that.
Hey, thank you so much for your call.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, lumbar is not the well-known one. It's the natto. I think that's because it's been around so much longer, but I'm going to put the emphasis once again, folks. The lumbar kinase 10 to 20 times better than clot buster, which is that's the idea for taking it. Why would you do the lesser of the two? Hey, another knock at the door. Come on the store. Hello and welcome in.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hello.
Hi, that was my question about the serapeptidase.
Uh-huh.
And I know that it probably doesn't break up the clots like
No, it doesn't.
like the natto or the lubro, but it is a cheaper version, I guess, that's been around for a while. And I guess it's just an all-around good anti-inflammatory, right?
Yeah, it is. And in fact, I got a chart in front of me right now that actually compares natto to beluga to serapeptidases and to bromelain. So that's another one of those proteolytic enzymes. But this chart, which attempts to try to say how effective of a clot buster it is, definitely shows that serapeptidases and bromelain, both of them, are not very effective at all. That it's the natto and the beluga. So I wouldn't be looking for great help from the silkworm or the bromelain. We might as well say that's coming from pineapple, okay, as great help when it comes to clot busting. Even though I didn't realize, is it much less expensive? Is it truly? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I guess it's been around for a while, and now there's upgrades to it, so the price has really gone down.
Okay.
But my question to you also is, once in a while I get these supplements from it's a company starting with an S, and we've mentioned it, I guess, on your show before. But they have a product out. It's called nattozymes, but it's not. If you look at the ingredient listing, it's nothing like the nattokinase. In other words, it's not derived from the soybean oil. This is derived from Aspergillus orzae and Aspergillus malaeus, and it says provides 2,200 fibrinolytic units, but it's in a capsule form. And I've never in my life taken a natto, the soy-derived natto. It's always been in a soft gel. And like I said, this one's just called nattozymes, but it's from something called Aspergillus. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, Aspergillus, that is a fungus. And so I'm familiar with the organism that it's derived from, but I'm not familiar with the product. That company, the S company you're talking about, what company is this?
Can I mention it?
Sure you can.
Swanson.
Swanson?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm unfamiliar with the product.
Okay.
I'll try to find out a little more about it, but if you're looking for clot busting, stick to the two that all the research has shown provide you with the benefit for the reason that you'd be taking it, as opposed to trying to sort of come up with your own. I got a feeling that that's what you're doing.
This might be something more along the lines of inflammation again, and not the clot.
Could be. I'm not familiar with nattozyme. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Always stimulating questions. Okay, we're off on a tangent talking about the busters. That's great. Another knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard.
Hello.
Hello. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, first-time caller.
Yes.
Could I change the subject?
Why not? Go right ahead. Be my guest.
All right. I tuned in late on your show anyway, and I don't know what you.
That's okay. Don't apologize. Just what's on your mind. Go ahead.
Okay. I walk every day. When I walk about. When I start about 3/4 of a mile, I'm starting to get angina.
Okay.
And I finish the walk about an hour and a half. It doesn't make me stop or none, but I think I'm getting heart problems.
Well, yeah. So you get chest pain. Do your legs hurt you too? Do you have to stop because of your legs bothering you?
No.
Okay, just because you get.
It's not a real pain. It's just angina. You know, it's just a discomfort that you just want for it to go away.
Yeah, let's just say I know about that. It's a warning sign that do you take? Let me ask a question. Do you take nitroglycerin for this?
No.
Have you ever mentioned it to your doctor so it could be prescribed?
Well, I'm just starting to get this.
All right. All right. So you got a warning sign. In a way, you're really lucky because what it does indicate potentially, and the fact that to confirm this, you really do need to be taking nitroglycerin when this thing comes on, so that if the nitro relieves it, you've really got your proof of the pudding as to what the cause of it is. But I'll tell you what, it could be easily enough a GI component. Could be gastrointestinal in origin and not have anything to do with the heart. And in this case,
you know, I had the open heart surgery 25 years ago.
Oh well, let's say the history.
Could them drafts be clogging up again?
Oh my! Did your doctor of 25 years ago should have had a little chit chat with you before the surgery that went something like this? Sir, we're going to be doing. By the way, how many vessels did you get grafted when you had your surgery? How many?
2.
2. Okay. So the conversation should have gone something like this. You tell me if this is the way it happened. Sir, tomorrow we're going to do in your surgery. We'll be grafting 2 vessels. One of the vessels that we're going to use, we're going to swing off of the inside of the chest. It's called the internal mammary artery. That'll be used for grafting the one vessel. The second vessel, we'll get a portion of a vein from your leg, and we'll put that on the second vessel. Well, you should know that the life expectancy of these vessels is the artery should last about 15 years before it corrodes up again with plaque, and the vein should last about 7. Now, if you're at 25 years, you've superseded all of them, and it's a pretty good bet, listening to your history. Angina is the thing you consider first. You need to be seeing your doctors again. You need to come on and let us see us so that we can actually work on trying to get the angina to be relieved and go away, which we can do through the use of ECP. We've got very greedy with this, so please come on in to see us. All right?
Hey, Doc, they didn't take no vessels off my leg. They used both of the mammary vessels.
Oh, they did? You were really lucky there. So you got...
They did cut my leg, but they didn't use the vessels. They cut my leg in case they had to.
All right, let's just say this. You shot 10 years beyond the life expectancy of the arteries anyway. You won. Now, you got to go back and start to take care of absolutely what's in jeopardy right here. Those vessels have re-corroded and re-clogged up with plaque again, and something needs to be done about them. Okay?
Okay, now, could I take something like Q10 or hawthorn berries?
You need to be a little more closely evaluated than that. And your plan, I wouldn't diminish the role that those two could be a benefit to you, but there are so many other things that you're just shooting right by and not thinking of. Come on in so we can talk about what you should be thinking of that has an absolute impact on your clinical status right now, far and above. Although hawthorn's wonderful and all these berries are wonderful, the jam that you potentially are in needs a lot more intervention than just that, okay?
Okay, would I have to take oral chelation or?
It seems like you may need IV chelation, but that's one of the things that you should be considering. Absolutely.
Okay. Where you at?
I'm out here in the South Hills. I'm just about 4 miles south of what they call South Hills Village, big mall, right on Route 19. Give us a call at 724-942-3002. Come on and set a time up so we can come in.
What's that number again, Doc?
724-942-3002. Come on in and see me, please. Okay?
002.
Yes, 3002.
Oh, 3002.
Yes, sir.
Okay, will do.
All right, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please come on in. Another knock on the door. Come on the store. Hello and welcome in.
Hi, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
Quick question.
Yes.
My husband and I are 60 and 61 with no health problems.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I was wondering, should we be taking the Nano just as a preventative?
You absolutely should. I would say this, any male over the age of 50 and any female 7 years and beyond past menopause, that puts you in that category, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Your cardiovascular issues could be brewing and you know nothing about them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would recommend, and I do it to all my patients who come in to see me, is we need, and they do it every year, so it doesn't matter. It's probably been a while since you've had a complete cardiovascular workup. Would that be a fair thing to say? Maybe you've never had one.
You mean blood work or?
Oh, I'm talking about the full 9 yards. There's a lot of studies and blood work that
I did have, like, the stress test and
okay, that's great.
All that kind about 2 years ago, and everything was perfect.
All right, I'm glad to hear they were perfect then. I'd like to be sure they're perfect now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that that as we age, cardiovascular issues, and there's degrees of difference based on our genetics and a whole host of other things that allow some at the age of 60 to be really expressing their cardiovascular issues, and others are delayed. But at some point, they will weigh in. And you asked the question about what you might do sort of is almost a prophylactic or preventative.
Mm-hmm.
And I say to you, oh, yeah, every one of those things is a great thing to do, but let's find out how prophylactic and how preventative you are. What if you found out that you had 40 or 50% plaque in the carotid arteries? Because, you know, you could do that quite easily by a study called a Doppler. Well, that would be indicative of certainly catching something way ahead of the time where it could be a problem, but it certainly would indicate you could be doing real fine, but yet have the basis for your cardiovascular issues to be expressed at some point in a way that you wanted to retard and not allow them to occur in that fashion, in that timely fashion, in that accelerated fashion. So I say to you, every one of the things we talk about here could be used prophylactically, and it's perfectly acceptable to do it in the way that I think you posed it. Like, I'm 60 or 61, I'm doing fine, but what if I did this? Would it be making me do a little better? Now, my answer to you is a resounding yes. Take that for what it's worth, but also take my offer of trying to find out scientifically, does your ability to say, well, I'm doing good, actually meet up to what the science would say it is? In other words, are you doing that well? Well, yeah, you're feeling good, but what's the science behind what's coming around the corner? If it doesn't show anything coming around the corner, then you got a reason to say I'm 60 and I'm doing fine. But if there's something right around the corner and you don't know about it, well, even though you're doing fine, you should be maybe a little more aggressive about how you're going to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I just throw that out to you. Either way you confront it, to just on your own do things like take a natto or beluga, I think was the question and that got us started. The answer is, oh, sure, absolutely. But let's be a little more, there's a way to be a little more exact than just that, taking it for the heck of it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So please, with all my best intentions, take me up on my offer. Come on in and see me. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Age 60, doing great. Hey, we're here in the gun lap. We're coming around that home stretch, and we still have a number of minutes left, about 7 minutes left. 412-825-6262. The conversation has swung probably because I started off talking about clot busters. We remained on pretty much a cardiovascular topic throughout the entire hour, and that's great. You can stick with it. You can bail out of it. You can move to something else. 412-825-6262. By the way, any additional callers out there? Hello? Anybody? I think I heard a knock at the door. Okay. Wait for the final knock as we come around and head to the finish line. The issue, let's talk about this chelation. Gentleman mentioned chelation therapy and oral chelation therapy, and of course versus the IV. And as I've said, 4 edges, 4 different advantages. I believe that we should be able to assist you with that you just won't be able to get anywhere in the conventional realm. Inflammatory factors correction, removing that plaque through chelation, establishing new blood vessels of flow through ECP, and busting up clots. These are the 4 areas. And so we do and have done for a long time IV chelation therapy, and then for about 5 or 6 now we've combined that. Many times can do just solely oral, have the convenience of being able to do this at home. So come on in so we can find out your status and whether we recommend one or the other, or sometimes both. Let's take the knock at the door and bring them on in. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard.
Hello?
Hello. Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm 59 years old, and I have a left branch bundle block.
Left bundle branch block. Yes.
Yes. Could you talk a little bit about that? I mean, will I need a pacemaker
on
the road? Or
No. You have 3 bundles, a left, a right, and a middle. Let's just call it that for easy purposes, okay?
Yes.
And it appears to be the blockage from moving throughout your heart in one of them. As long as it remains a left bundle branch only, it's completely benign. There's absolutely no additional risks that come to you by virtue of it. Let's just say it becomes bifascicular. Or what if it's trifascicular? Remember there's 3 bundles? Now, that's a whole other ball of wax. But if this stays as left bundle branch block, man, don't worry about a thing. You're going to do just fine. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you heard the panic tones, ladies and gentlemen, signaling our time out of here. Look, it was an enjoyable time we spent. Don't forget, Monday, Rick Hill is going to be with us, a cancer survivor. They said you're going to die, boy. That was 34 years ago. Well, he's not dead. Let's talk about how he got from where he is to where he will be. And we'll have you with us, hopefully, on Monday to do that. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AIM Impact on Your Health.
Sponsored by Dennis J. Courtney, MD, Director of the Courtney Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 for Dennis J. Courtney, MD.
KHB and the Westmoreland County Area Agency on Aging ask you, did you know that carbon monoxide is the most common cause of poisoning deaths in the United